So we're up to here. V'hinei medivrei ha'arizal elu. From these words of the Arizal, hu hechrech v'raya gemura. This is a complete evidence, and we have to say l'mashekosov to that what it says bekama duchti in many places. The pirush oir ein soif, that what is the meaning of the oir ein soif? We're not talking about atzmus, but rather we're talking about a ziva ha'ore from the mo'ir. I know that the oir is ha'oir v'hagilui, that is the light and the revelation. But the essence and Hashem himself, who derech moshul, that would be, by way of example, b'chinas hamoir. That is like the luminary, shehu moker oir, which is the source of the light. So the oir Ein Sof is the gilui of the Ein Sof. But the Ein Sof himself, Atzmus, Mahus Atzmusai, that's like the Moir. Why are we forced to say so? How come we have to say so? What do we see from the words of the Arizal that we have to say so? The Imloikain, if that's not the case, Mahu Pirush, Bechina Tachtoina, what would be the meaning of the lower level, Ushfeilo Mikol B'chinas Ein Sof, and that is lower than all levels of Ein Sof? The Komar HaArizal, that Arizal is saying, how could we say a lower level and a lower in Atzmus Ein Sof? What kind of a level is it? Like the question that he asked in the very beginning. Elovadai, but for sure, the Ritzoyna Loimar, that what he means to say is Al Derech Moshul Ha'ir V'Haziv Kulu. By way of example, like the shine and the ziv, etc. V'chein kosav haramaz b'hagoah b'tchila so'itzris chayim. The Ramaz, in a note in the beginning of the Eitzris Chaim, writes, and this is the language, quoting, Davke ha'ore min ha'ein sof. Specifically, only a ray of the Ein Sof. But not from the blessed his essence. And that is himshir. That what he brings down is the oir. Ritzoyna loymar, as he claimed, what he means to say, Ritzoyni loymar, says the Ramaz, ma'oire bilvad heyir lamata, adkan l'shoyna. That only from the oir is what he brings down, not from the atzmus, but only of the oir. Gam harameh b'hagdoma sifra yonas elam kosav. The Rameh, in the introduction to his sefer Yonas Elam, writes, the Ein Sof hu shayich loymar al shmo yizbarech, v'loy al mehusay v'atzmusay. That Ein Sof only applies on his blessed name, but not on the essence of Hashem. So you can't say that Hashem. So therefore, everything that we're talking about, the Hamshocha, the levels, that's all talking about the Oir and not the Moir. So now, say, even within the Oir itself, it's not the entire Oir. It is only what we're talking about, the last Madrege, we're talking about the level of the Kav V'chut that was Nimshach. Look at that. However, Omno. Although it is true and it's proper, this matter, The Allah oir levad yitochen loymar, that it's only on the oir it is possible to say mashakosu beitz chaim, that which says the Eitz Chaim, B'chinas hayeser tachtoin achroino chulu, that we can call it B'chinas hayeser achroino. V'kol mokeim be'emes pirush B'chinas hayeser achroino shebein sof the komer beitz chaim. But truth, what is the meaning of the last level in the Ein Sof? The Eitz Chaim says, Ein hakavone al klolus ha'oir v'haziv mamesh. It doesn't mean that the general oir and ziv mamesh over there, the last level of the oir v'ziv, the oir of mamesh ki'im oid zoizru tzoyna loymar. But what he wants to say, also this he wants to say, Shebechinas hayeser achroino shebe'oir v'haziv, that the last level in the oir v'ziv, mizen nimshach liyos atik la'atzilus. From that, from within the oir, in the last level in the oir and this ziv, from this extends to become the atik la'atzilus, the level of atik, the level of keser, the atik part of the netzal comes not from the general oir, but it comes from the last level of the oir. What does it mean, the last level of the oir? Shemitchila hoyo tzimtzum behoir. First, there was a tzimtzum, there was a cholol umokim ponui, a space, a hollow, a mokim ponui, there was a tzimtzum in the oir. And after the tzimtzum, v'achar kach nimshach rak kav v'chud levad me'oir ein sof. After that tzimtzum in the oir, it was extended only a line and a strand alone from the oir ein sof. So v'hakav, this kav that comes after the tzimtzum, that's the last level, the b'china achroina, unikra b'china achroina legabi ha'oir. That is called the last level relative to the oir, to the whole oir in sof. That level of the kav is called the b'china achron. V'ayin mashekosuv me'inyan zeh biur al posik ro'isi v'hinei menoira zov. In that Mamer, biur al posik yavi levush malchus ulu. So over there it says, I guess the lotion over there is umehakav ushenimshach liyos bechinas atik da'atzilus, that it's from the kav, and that kav is the bechina achroina. From there is nimshach to be the level of atik of atzilus. Hinei. So now bechinas atik, from the level of atik, nimshach umislabish ba'arich ampin. That's the second, from atik and arich. So from atik, it goes down and it dresses up in arich ampin. So netzolim. And arich ampin already is the root and the source of the netzolim of atzilus, of the spheres, all the netzolim. Zehu inyan shah keser nikro memutza bein hamatzil lenetzolim. And this is the idea that Keser is called an intermediary between the Matzil and the Netzolim. What is it, an intermediary? Because from the Kav cannot come down to Atzilus. The Kav, the Bechina Achroina, needs to go through the level of Keser, Atik and Arich, in order to be Nimshech into Atzilus. The Hainu. Shekidei liyos ha'oras oir ein sof nimshach umislabesh bikelim the eser spheres da'atzilus, in order that the ray of the Ein, the shine of the Ein Sof, to extend and dress up in the kelim of the 10 spheres of the Atzilus, hu al yidei shemitchilo nimshach umislabish b'china tachtoino shebeha'oir v'haziv v'shoyrish ha'eser spheres. First, before it can come to Atzilus, it has to come to Keser. First, it's nimshach umislabish, that lower level in the oir, that kav, and the ziv in the root of the Eser spheres, not in the Eser spheres, but in the root, in the keser of the Eser spheres. The hainu b'bchinas shebekeser hanikra shoyrish hanetzol. Within keser, the second level in keser, which is called the root of netzolim, that's the arich. Shagovo maloso le'ein ketz. The level of the shoyrish hanetzolim is endlessly greater, higher, mibchinas proteo in sof, than the details of the Ein Sof, which is in Atzilus. And also v'gam koilam yachad. Over there, it's all includes them all together, not as specific details as they come out in Atzilus. Al yidei zeh, and through this, through first coming down into the level of arich, first coming down the level of keser in the level of the shoyrish hanetzol, is achar kach, then later on, nimshach ha'ore mibchina zu, then ha'ore from this level extends the slabish b'chol protei hakelim, the eser spheres, to dress up in all the details of the kelim of the 10 spheres. L'chol kli fi erkoi ulu, every kele according to its value. After it goes through arich, the shoyresh hanetzolim, then it can come down to the Eser spheres, to each one according to its value. V'ayin b'sefer shel Beinonim perik nun aleph, shehamoshel v'nimshel aniskar shom, yuvan kan b'derech niflo yoser lein ketz. The moshel and the nimshel that is mentioned there can be understood here in a much greater, endless understanding. We have to go through what it says there, but over there it says okay. Base. It's written L'cho Hashem Agdula v'Hagevura. That this Gedula, which is Chesed and Gevura, the midos of Atzilus, are L'cho Hashem. They're bottled to Hashem. That means while the midos, the Eser spheres in Atzilus, even though they became limited, they're mugbal, but still they are bottled. Anushamidos the Atzilus betelim be'atzmus oir ein sof. The midas of Atzilus are subjugated in the essence of the oir ein sof. The lav bei mikol inon midas klal. In the essence of ein sof, there is nothing of these midas. So these midos that come out in Atzilus are nevertheless subjugated to the Atzmos Ein Sof, which doesn't have any midos. And likewise, when we talk about the last of the spheres of Atzilus, Bechinas Malchus the Atzilus, Leva Malchus Atzilus, Ibetela Umiyuchedes Be'ein Sof Baruch Hu, is subjugated and united with the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. That too, the Spheres HaMalchus is also, as the other spheres are bottled, just like the Gedula and Gevura, Malchus is also L'cho Hashem HaMamlocha. Moshe Kosuv, L'chashav Amlocha. Ukenoida, and as it's known, the Batzilus, Iu Vegarmo Yichad. That we say Hashem and his garments and the Kelim are also one, which means Afilu B'chinas HaKelim, even the level of Kelim. So in Atzilus, basically, everything is bottled, subjugated to the Eibishter. Mash'en Ken Elam HaBriya, as opposed to the world of Bria, Ubechinas Yesh Me'ayin. Over there, it's a level of a Yesh, an entity that comes from Ayin. Shah Nivre Hu Yesh V'Dovar Nifrad. Over there, the created being is an entity and something separate. He's not bottled. He's not subjugated. V'afilu hakelim the eser sfiras the bi'ah. Even the vessels, the eser sfiras, the kelim of eser sfiras the bi'ah. Hey nivroim. They are also created being. Over there, the love ihu v'garmo yichad b'hoim. Over there, we don't say that Hashem and the Kelim are one when we're talking about in Bria. So now you have to have a hamshocha from Bittel, from the level of Atzilus, into Bria, into Yesh. Yesh Ma'ayim, Nivra, a Yesh V'Davar Nifra. V'lochein, Yidei Liyes HaMshocha, Me'eser Sfiras D'Atzilus. Be'eser Sfiras D'Biyah, in order to have the Hamshocha from the 10 Sfiras D'Atzilus. In the 10 Sfiras D'Biyah, Ugamkein Al Yidei B'chinas Memutza, that also comes through an intermediary. Like a keser, just like we have a keser between the B'china Tachtoina and the Maitzel to Atzilus, we have also an intermediary, or that keser is called an atik. That level of atik, shebechinas malchus the atzilus, that the level of malchus the atzilus nasis atik libria, that becomes a atik, a keser, for bria. Upirush ve'etz chaim shar mem aleph perik dalet explains what does it mean that memutza shemislabeshes, that the level of Malchus dresses up in Keser de Bria, in the Keser of Bria. The Hainu, in what level is it? The Hainu, Ba'arich Ampin de Bria, in the level of Arich Ampin de Bria, which is the Shoirish of the Esesphiris of Bria. So that means that the Atik of Bria dresses up in the Arich Ampin of Bria. V'lochein, though b'chinas memutza bein Atzilus lebria, that is the intermediary between Atzilus and Bria. Ukenal be'inyan hakeser d'Atzilus, as we spoke before, with regards to the idea of the keser of Atzilus. B'nimtza. So what does it turn out? That yesh b'chinas malchus d'Atzilus. So it turns out that in Malchus D'Atzilus there is 2 levels. Aleph hu b'yoso b'Atzilus. One, as Malchus is in Atzilus, koidem sheyoredes liyos atik libria, before she descends to become an atik to the bria. Asher b'Atzilus hu b'chinas hayichud be'orein sof, as we said, l'cho Hashem ha'mamlocha. In Atzilus, as Malchus stands in Atzilus, before it becomes an Atik to Bria. Over there, it's a level of Yichud and Ein Sof, it's Bittel. Over there, as we said, l'cho Hashem ha'mamlocha. Malchus is Bittel to l'cho Hashem. Abeis, the second level, Kishenim Sheches me'Atzilus. Malchus is extended from Atzilus. Umislabeshes b'Bria, address on Bria, Liyos Atik libria, to become an Atik for Bria. V'zeu b'chinas Melech, Molech, V'yimlech. We say about Hashem, Hashem Melech, Hashem Molech, Hashem Yimlech. That means that the Eibishter is in time. He's king now, he was king. This whole idea of time is only created when Malchus becomes an Atik for Bria. But in Atzilus, there is no concept of time b'chlal. Then you have Hashem Melech, Molech, Yimlech. Sha'os Nasis Moker, when it becomes an Atik to Bria Malchus, then it becomes a source for his Havus Hazman, for creating time. Over Hoive V'osi, the past, present, and future. Mashe'ein Kain, B'Atzilus, as opposed to in Atzilus, Ein Shayir B'china Zu, Shehu Hoive V'yiyah Bereg Echad. Over there, this level doesn't apply there. Why? It's not past for it. Because he is Hoya Hoive V'yiyah Bereg Echad. It's instantly. It's not past, present, and future. Everything is in one instant. Was and is and will be. It's all instant. It's not time. There's no span of time. When Malchus descends into Brio, Nikra as B'Lashoin HaGemara v'Hatargum Unkelus b'Shem Shchina. Then in the language of the Gemara and the Targum Unkelus, we call it Shchina. Say it in the Asar Shechintei, in the Yoshir, when the davening, it's always translated as the divine that calls it the level of Shekhinah, which means Sheshoichet beheichel kochi kochim, that rests in the kochi kochim, comes down the Shekhinah into the Kodesh HaKadoshim. We know that between the poles and the kapoides and the cherubs and the kerubim, the voice came. That's where the Shekhinah came in the heichel, in the room of the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Over there, godliness would rest. The Sefer Shalbein and Perik Nun Gimel. And Vishom beheichel koche kochim debiyah v'chein beheichel koche kochim shebebeis hamikdash. So we talk about there's a heichel, also a spiritual heichel koche kochim in Bri Yitzira Asira, and also in the literal Kodesh HaKadoshim Beis Hamikdash. Over there, Shayich Loshen Shechina applies the language of Shechina. There was the resting of the Shechina over there. Mashen Kein v'hiyoso ba'atzilus, as opposed to when Malchus is in Atzilus, before it comes down on Atik for Bria. Over there, Lo Shayich Loshen Shechina. Over there, it doesn't apply the language of Shechina. It's not resting. Ma'achar shem yuchedes shom be'oir ein sof betachlis hayichud. Over there, Malchus is united in the light of the Ein Sof in total unity. Be'eino mislabeshes v'shoire b'nemoker hanivroim adal. It doesn't rest in. It's not Shechina. It doesn't rest in the source of the Nivroim. In the Atik, it's still bottled and non-Metzias in Atzilus. Rak, Yishenasis Bechinas Atik Libria. Only when it becomes an Atik for Bria, and then Umislabeshes Barich Ampin de Bria, and it dresses up in the level of Arich Ampin of Bria, Shahu Shoiresh Eser Sviris de Bria, which is the Arich Ampin, that is the of Bria, is the root of Esviris de Bria. O Bria Univroim, and Bria is already created being. So over there, the Shoiresh Shom, and over there it rests these Galus and Lakus. So over there, Shayich Loshen Shechina. Over there implies language Shechina. Shebechinas Malchusa is Baruch Sheba Atzilus. so that the level of his blessed Malchus, which is an Atzilus, Shabo Melubesh Hakav, in the Malchus of Atzilus, is the Kav, because that comes through Atik, through Keser, through to Atzilus, Meirin Sobarchu, and that is Shechenes, the Teich Bria, that rests inside Bria. Okay, so now they have this parenthesis. In the Pardes, in the Erke and the Ereshchina, it says Meshakenes be'olam hatachten kol ha'atzilus elyon chulu einshom, that she makes rest in this lower world. The entire supreme Atzilus comes down through the Malchus. It comes down, all of it, Einshom. And when this happens, about this, it's written, Shachanti b'soicham. Or the other pasuk that says, the Shichna Yisidrishu, you should seek the Shechina. The Shechina is what comes down from Atzilus into Biyah. V'al pizeh yizboyer mashekosuv hamagid la beis Yosef be'irish pirish chinte. Based on this, we can explain that which the Magid, the Beis Yosef, used to ask some questions from the Magid. The Magid used to reveal to him secrets to the Beis Yosef. And now we can explain that which the Magid told the Beis Yosef when he explained to him the meaning of Shechinta, based on what the Rebbe explained now, the Anyin Alter Rebbe, the Yim Shechinta. Heviyu HaShalom b'soif ha'akdoma, the Dibur HaMaschil. The Shalom brings down the Magid in the end of his introduction. In the Dibur HaMaschil over there, and that's quoting. We're quoting the Shalom now, and the Shalom writes, "Uleshleimus inyan zeh." That's from the words of the Shalom. That to complete this idea, that's the Shalom writing. Atik das divra magid chulu. I'm going to quote the view of the words of the Magid. All that piece, and he says ad. Voleo Ramzu Haramban b'Mashekosu, Ramaz Haramban, and to that, this is part of the quote of the Shalom. And this, the Ramban, and this is the Shalom quoting the Magid. The Ramban hid Mashekosu kihi imohem ba'achdus v'loy ba'atzilus. That the Shechina is united with them and not in Atzilus. This is the Shalom quoting the Magid. The Rabbim Novechu Pirush Devorov, and no people didn't understand what the Ramban meant when the Ramban said that it's Ba'achno Atzilus. Omnum the Pirush HaMagid Mevur Heitev. So this is the Shalom quoting. He says, according to the interpretation of the Magid, we can understand the Ramban. Kishchinto matruniso, that when we say the Shechina is the queen, he meseri is Sfiras, Yud Sfiras Loim Ba'achdus, it's united with them. This is the Shalom. Oh, it's a little bit difficult to exactly figure out what the exact discussion there, but what we do see over here is that we're talking about the 10 spheres of Atzilus. The Shechinta, here we're talking about the whole time that the Shechinta is Malchus, the Malchus that descends into into Bria, into Hekel Kochim, and becomes the Keser. But over there, it seems to say that it's united with all the 10 spheres. It's not something which is Malchus. So he says, Asher lechoyre hu neged hamevur b'kisvei harizal. This seems to be going against that which is explained in the Kisvei harizal. The Shchinte Malchus da Atzilus. That Shchinte is the Malchus of Atzilus. But based on what I wrote, this comes out okay. We can understand it. The Kabanosei, Ugam Kein K'mashe Nisboyer Le'il B'Shem Harizal, because what he means also is, what the Magid means is also, as explained before, in the name of Harizal. Shahamalchus yesh bo beis b'chines. The Malchus Atzilus yesh bo beis b'chines. Malchus Atzilus has the two levels. Aleph mashihim meyuchedes be'ein sof beses sfiras Atzilus. One part of it, that which is united in the 10 sfiras Atzilus, and the habeis mashenasis atik libria. That when it becomes an atik of bria. So, ushchinto nikro habechina hashenis shebemalchus davke. So the shchina is not the 10 spheres when they are in Atzilus. So I'm not so sure if he's bothered by the fact that it's 10 and this is malchus, or he's more bothered by the fact that over there we're calling them shchina in Atzilus, and over here we're saying that shchina comes down. So he's saying ushchinta nikra habchina hashenis shebemalchus davke. Okay, so that looks like the problem was not 10 spheres versus Malchus, but that where is it? Is it in the level of Atzilus Shchinta, or is it a level of Bria? So he says, depending what level of Malchus. Again, we need to sort it out a little bit more. Mihu,